Friday. Today is May 4th, and as you can see, I am wearing my Star Wars pants. I only get to wear them once a year, so May the 4th be with you. I know it's also with me. So we're going to come into a comfortable seated pose. Yes, no, nothing like a little cheesy start to your Monday. So find a comfortable seat, and that might mean being up on a blanket, it might be being up on a block, and just see how you feel. So we don't take a lot of time finding stillness, and we do a lot of movement. And as we move, we can't feel this internal force, this internal energy that is always there. And so we're going to do a few things to kind of stoke this force. And in yoga, sometimes this is called Agni. Agni is fire. So we're going to do some things to kind of stoke this fire inside of us today. But I want you to just feel the difference. Breathing in through your nose, out through your nose, and just finding this space around you. Now, this space around us, even in yoga, there is kind of a thick, heavy space around us. And if we move in all of our poses with intent and purpose, then we can start to tap into this force. And it almost feels sometimes as though you're moving through butter. You're moving through this thickening of energy around you, and maybe being aware of that today. And so Star Wars was so ahead of its time because it realized that there is this universal force around us. And Yoda was the ultimate yogi, tapping into this life force energy and teaching others how to tap into it as well. And sometimes I, as a yoga teacher, really resonate with that because once we learn to tap into this, once we realize how much control and power that we have over our own health, we can start to be more responsible for how we feel, how to correct what doesn't feel right without necessarily going to the doctors or medical professionals. We can get a lot of these situations before they become problems because we're tapping into exactly what our body needs. So I just want you to come into your seated pose and start to lengthen and straighten the spine. Lily, come on. Come on. Over here. She has this habit of like standing literally right in front of the camera in this huge big house. And start to feel where your spine originates, that it's originating at the base of your tailbone. And then as though somebody is pulling you up by your ears, see if you can find length. Notice the curve in your back and see if you can tilt your tailbone forward a little bit, taking this curve out. And if you need to adjust your legs to make this comfortable, do that. Breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. And just starting to soften all the areas around your body. Be aware of softening at the eyes, the nose, the jaw. Allow the shoulders to relax. But as you're softening all these parts of the body, don't hunch down with it. Still keep this length as though the spine is still continuing to do its work. But you are relaxing in and around it. Letting the arms and the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the forearms. Noticing the relaxation of each finger. Maybe the palm is facing up or down, doesn't matter. Notice how the hips feel, relaxing into the hips, the legs. And just start to tap into your energy today. Notice how that feels. If it is silent, sometimes the energy has a language and it talks to us. Notice if there are thoughts that are circulating around the energy, or if you can clear your mind. And a good way to sometimes clear your mind is to focus on your breathing. Notice the air as it goes through your nostrils, and the air as it exits the nostrils. See if you can slow down your breathing. Maybe making the breathing a little bit more purposeful. Slowing down the exhale. And start to notice, is there one nostril that's even more dominant than the other nostril? Is it dominant on both the inhale and the exhale? Or does it vary? And then taking your hands together, spread your fingers out, palms touch, and just start to touch right at the fingertips. And then touching the fingers, the knuckles, the palms. Drawing the shoulders down a little bit more, lifting up through the chest as though you're trying to reach your chest up towards the tops of your thumbs. Pull your belly down. Pull your pubic bone up. So your belly button and your pubic bone are kind of trying to reach each other. And this is this activation of the pelvic floor lifting. You might be able to tap into that and feel that. And if you can't, that's okay. This is starting to draw awareness to how I move through time and space. Maybe taking a moment, setting an intent for your practice. Maybe offering a dedication, if that's available for your practice today. And then bringing your fingers down towards your knees. I just want you to take a moment and kind of massage out your legs. And just start to feel this energy in the thighs. And then maybe taking that down to the shins. And going around the knees. And let's go up into the hips. Around the lower back. Maybe these little circles. You might even take the hands to the belly. Little circles. And then going up a little higher if you can. Fingers are kind of going up the spine. And then up the belly. And thinking about kind of zipping this energy up. Right up to the heart. So you can lift your heart a little bit. Taking some of that energy up to the throat. And then taking your hands down to the shoulders and just pulling the shoulders down a little bit. And then moving your head a little side to side. Taking your chin down towards your chest. And your inhale gazing up. Exhale, taking it down. Inhale up. One more. Exhale down, holding the shoulders down in opposition. And then I'm going to take the right hand, push the shoulder down, and just cross the energy. And so our body has this natural connection from side to side. And sometimes we get a little crossed and really pushing down into the shoulders. And just a few more. Inhaling through the nose. And on these, let's exhale through the mouth. Nice. Shake out the hands. Bring your hands forward. Shake them out just a little bit. All right. We're going to start off with Kapalabhati, which is a deep breath. We're going to connect and tap into the belly. So your exhale is automatic. It kind of looks like this. And it's going to get this fire going. Now we're in the height of, allergy season. So if you need to grab a tissue or anything like that, you can. I just want you to close your eyes for a moment. Inhale through your nose, exhale completely. Inhale halfway. Begin. See if you can retain the breath by pulling the chin in, locking the chin down, pulling the Mula Bandha up. Now if you have high blood pressure, unmedicated high blood pressure, or any reason for not holding your breath, then please don't do so. If you've had a stroke, any blood issues, heart disease, you can just keep breathing in. If not, hold the breath for a moment, and then inhale. Exhale. So we're going to pull the chin in, and when we do this, this is Jalandhara. This is what's called a throat lock. So I kind of pull the chin back and down, and I lock this in. Now as I do that, I'm going to pull the Uddiyana Bandha slightly in, and the Mula Bandha up. This is called Maha Bandha. This is the king of all the bandhas. Okay, this is a very powerful bandha, but again, if you have, any blood pressure issues, unmedicated heart disease, things that, if you've had strokes, don't hold your breath. Just keep breathing in and out. We're going to join you in a moment. I'm going to do that 2 more times, and at the end of this, we're going to find that Maha Bandha. And I just want you to hold the breath. If the breath becomes a struggle to hold, that's when you need to let it go. So the minute it becomes a forced action, I want you to let it go. Don't try to hold your breath like you're underwater. Okay? That's something we can build ourselves up to, but you don't need to find it right away. So I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Inhale fully. Exhale fully. Inhale halfway. Begin. Jalandhara, Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Hold, retain the breath. Release. Inhale. Exhale. And just stay here for a moment and see if you can feel the effects of this stoking action. And just starting to tap into how this feels in your body. All right, last one. We're going to see if we can do this one a little faster. If you cannot do it faster, don't worry about it. So we're going to inhale. Exhale fully. Inhale halfway. Again. Inhale. Hold, engage Mahabandha. Release. Sit quietly. And start to tap in a little of maybe the subtle or not so subtle sensations around you. And see as you tap into this, if you can still the body completely, removing any unnecessary movement. By removing unnecessary movement, we tap into more of the energy that's moving around us. Notice if there was a direction to this energy. Sometimes it's clockwise or counterclockwise. Relaxing the jaw. Nice, open the eyes. So that was a really powerful way to start your practice. Doing that every day really helps your lung capacity and starts to stoke this internal fire in the body. We're going to come on to hands and knees, and I want you to just press into the hands and lift the heart forward. So on your inhale, think about your chest pulling forward and maybe finding a gaze up. Now the gaze needs to be originated with the chest and then the chin, then the eyes. So I'm not compressing into the lower neck or the upper neck. And as you round, pull navel and they will touch your belly button. Lift up through the arm bones, press the shoulders out. On your inhale, pull your heart forward, maybe gaze up as long as you're not feeling compression in the back of the neck. The neck should feel long. So my chin is reaching up. The shoulders are pulling away from the chin. The heart is pulling forward. Round, exhale, pressing up. And again, pushing through the arms, lifting up as much as you can, chin in, and slightly pulling towards the navel. So I'm still pulling the crown of the head down. The tops of the toenails are down. Middle fingers facing forward. Middle toes are facing back. On your inhale, come into neutral. And just take a moment, gaze over your right side. Maybe pull your right hip towards your right shoulder. Come back to the center, and then gazing over the left, and pulling the left hip towards the shoulder. And then coming back up, pressing through the arms. Take the left hand so it's a little under the heart. Keep the knees where they are. Reach and extend the right arm up. Separate the fingers, push the shoulder back as far as you can, and then bring the right shoulder down. Try to press the right ear to the ground. Now, the ear to the ground is going to change the position a lot. So I'm pressing the ear to the ground. I want to keep the hips stable. So I want the action to originate more in the shoulder. Push the shoulder over a little bit, but this is going to be a compression into the shoulder. Maybe lift the left arm up and see as though you're reaching your right ear towards the ground. See if you can hear anything on the ground. Maintain level hips. So I don't want to push more weight into that left knee. I want to feel that the left and the right knee both are maintaining this equal pressure. So you can start pulling the left shoulder back a little bit. Maybe find the inside of the right thigh. When you're ready, release the left arm to the ground. Counter twist by reaching that right arm back up. And open the shoulders, maybe gazing up towards the right thumb with the left eye. And then both hands come down. And take a moment, walk the hands out, turning the fingers out a little bit. Maybe the fingers are facing back the other direction. Curl your toes, move yourself a little forward and back. Bend your elbows if you can. Keep the thumbs down. And when you're ready, take those fingers forward. Right hand finds underneath the heart, and on your inhale, lengthen. Press through the right arm and level out the shoulders so the left shoulder is stacked right on top of the right. Gaze up towards the fingers, and then bring the left shoulder down. And as I do this again, I want to try to see, can I bring my ear down towards the ground? And if it can't touch, that's okay. I'm going to push my hips back, and I'm going to notice that my knees feel this level action in the hips. Maybe reach and extend the right arm up. Pull the right shoulder back, and see if the right hand can find the inside of the left thigh. If it can, keep pulling the elbow and the shoulder back on the right, and just push the left shoulder down, letting it weigh down. Stay your breath. When you're ready, right hand comes down, press through the mat, and inhale, extend. Reach the arm up, spread the fingers. Lift up as high as you can, and then bring that left hand down. Now I'm going to bring the knees so the knees align, round the back, pressing up. Pull the crown of the head down and pull the shoulders back. Move your head in a really small little figure eight, squeezing the insides of the thighs, pressing the tops of the toes down, and really connect into the big toes. See if you go the other direction on the head roll. And gazing forward, lengthen. So I'm going to bring my tailbone back. I'm going to bring my knees out just a little bit wider. Extend your arms forward. And try to see, can you melt your heart down? If your shoulders are bothering you, make sure to take the head down. Not over pressing through the arms. If you can't, keep pressing the heart down. And just find a point where you need to stop. The chest might actually connect to the earth, but the tailbone is lifted up and the ribs are pulling towards the thighs. Finding this variation of melting heart or kind of a puppy pose. Keep pulling your rib cage through your thighs and maybe extend the chin forward. Making sure you're not feeling compression in the neck. If you are, forehead down. Stay your breath. And when you're ready, slowly shift your weight forward towards your hands. Walk your hands in. We're going to find knees, chest, chin. So as I come down, knees, press your chest down, and then chin down. And pull from your chest, pull your chin forward to lengthen the neck. Start to extend yourself forward, maybe pressing through the hands, and walk the chest down. Keep the bottom rib cage down. So as I'm here, really want to extend the legs back. Now, I'm pulling the chest forward. So I'm going to start by pulling the crown of the head forward. Now see if you can lift your rib cage up just an inch and place it forward a couple of inches on your mat. Pull your shoulder blades back. Lengthen your leg by pulling your left leg back and then pull your right leg back. Keep the big toes down. Keep pulling the head forward, elbows back. Now as you're here, on your inhale, lengthen, but pull your ribs forward. So I'm getting this length. And I'm also getting this strength in the lower back by activating the glutes. Pushing the thighs down, keep activating the glutes, pressing the big toes in. Lift the heart, lift the chest. Let the action originate from the lower back and the strength of your glute muscles, your inner thighs, hugging in towards each other, lifting up a little bit more, staying here for 3, 2, 1, lower, down, nice. And I know that's hard. Press the shoulders down, turn your head to any direction that's comfortable. So we need to find the strength in the lower back. If I don't, all the sitting, everything I do, it's not going to have any purpose behind it. I'm going to end up hunching a lot more if the lower back isn't able to support me. So take yourself forward. Keep your hands back where they are. So reaching your hands back, I'm going to inhale, lengthen, and I want you to roll your shoulders in and back. Now as though you're trying to touch your fingers down, lift your heart a little bit more. Keep the toes down. Stay here for 5. Squeeze the inner thighs. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower, down. Nice. So I'm going to extend my arms forward. And as I do this, just reach the arms forward. Tent the wrists. Walk the feet back as far as you can. We're going to lengthen. So left leg comes up. Right hand comes up. And keep lengthening. Now, if you feel like you have this position pretty well, you can uncurl the back of the right toes, lengthen the right leg. Maybe that left arm is down a little bit lower. But keep the right hip down as much as you can. And release. Notice which side is a little bit stronger. So tent the fingers. On your inhale, lengthen. This time, that right leg is going to reach back. And see if you can reach the left arm higher. Now, keep pulling the left toes back, and maybe the right arm stays down low. But keep the left hip engaged. 3, 2, 1, lower, down. Nice job. Take the hands down to the mat, tent the fingers, relax the legs a little bit, and then just peel your ribs up off the ground. Pull your heart forward, lift your chest, and then exhale lower. Let's find 2 more like that. Don't worry if you can't come up as high as I am. So lengthening, and I want you to pull all the way down to the hips forward. So this action is my chest is coming up, I'm inhaling, and then I'm going to pull the hips forward, shoulders are back, and then exhale lower. Take the toes down, curl the toes under, pull your heels back, and just kind of pedal the heels back. If you can, lift the knees. Stay here for 3, 2, 1. Release the knees, take the hands down to the mat, find table. Wrists and shoulders align, knees and hips align. Round the back a little bit, pulling up. And then when you're ready, coming into a seated pose, any comfortable seated pose. If you can, let's bring it onto the heels. So suspender bolt pose. If you're not able to sit on the heels, maybe take a block under so you can press some of that pressure off. This is going to work into the tops of the feet and keeps the direction of my toes reaching in a good, strong way. So I'm going to take the arms forward, and I just want you to roll out the wrists for a moment. And make a fist, and then take the hands together and roll them out. Now bring your left hand down to the outside of your right leg and open your rib cage. Think about taking your left hand or your right hand over to your left ribs and twisting over a little bit more. Push your left shoulder back and maybe walk the right fingertips back. Coming back towards the center, release the twist. Right hand comes down. Start to exhale, twist over towards the left side. Take your left hand to your right ribs and see, can you turn the rib cage at all? Release the left hand back behind you, gaze over your shoulder, and push your right shoulder back away from you. So your shoulders are reaching, almost like they're trying to reach each other in the back. Lengthen, gaze forward, release the pose. All right, so I'm going to bring that left arm across, and I want you to push the shoulder down. Now, as you're here, think about reaching your ear over towards the right side. And just keep pushing the left shoulder down. And then inhale, coming back, and then reaching your ear over towards the left side, keeping the arm where it is. Coming back to the center, releasing that hand, taking it down, rolling that shoulder out. So I'm going to take the right arm forward, grab with the left hand, reach it across, and then I want you to reach your ear over towards the left side. Notice the length in your side body, and just gaining a little bit of length in that side body. When you're ready, bring your head back up to the center, and then exhale over to the right side, feeling the length now in the left shoulder, the left side of the neck. Keep trying to find that spaciousness so the ear is reaching up as the left elbow is reaching down. Coming back to the center, release the arms, roll it out. And just start to move your head. Finding spaciousness. Roll the other direction and see if you can find this movement in the head. Now bring your legs around, and we're going to start off with the left leg extending out, and bring that leg in just a little bit. So the right knee is bent, right foot is going to come into the left thigh, and I want you to just turn your ribs a little over towards the side. Now keep turning the ribs and use your left hand, find a little twist. Gazing over the shoulder of the right. Now, keeping this hand here, lift and extend your right arm up. So you're trying to lift up as high as you can towards the ceiling. Now, as you're here, just start to see, can I reach my arm a little forward, but try to keep the arm more over the ear. I'm not trying to necessarily bring the shoulder down. It might eventually come down, and you can keep moving the hand in, but don't lean over the leg. Reach the arm up as far as you can, getting this length in your right right side. And see, can I keep pulling the right hip, the right rib cage up towards the sky? Staying here for a few more breaths. And using that right arm, pull yourself gently out of your pose. Bring your left leg so it faces forward, Janu Shirshasana. Reach and extend the arms up. Now on your exhale, think about pulling your heart forward and maybe moving the hips back for a moment. I'm going to bend my elbows, and I want you to think about ribs towards thighs. So I'm lengthening the whole rib cage. The whole rib cage is coming forward as I do this. So it's almost like I'm trying to lift my ribs right over my knee. If you need to bend the knees so the ribs and the thighs can find each other. This is a better pose than this. So pull the chin forward towards the toes. Now, if you have the hand, you can take the hand around the foot. If you have a deeper stretch, you can reach the left arm forward and use the right hand to grab onto the wrist and keep pulling the chin towards the toes and kind of pulling the toes back, keeping the leg in a flexed position. Stay here another breath. And when you're ready, inhale, bringing it back to the center, and then exhale, taking the hands down. Just taking a moment, rolling out the shoulders. And then I'm going to bring that right leg out a little bit, and the left foot's going to come in. And I'm going to turn my body a little over towards the left side so the ribs are angled in line with the left leg. Right hand is going to come down, so I'm going to reach the right hand down to the outside of the left knee. Now lengthen the rib cage and find a little twist. Left fingertips are going to reach behind me, and as you do this, think about pulling the right shoulder back and the left shoulder back. Lengthen as though you want to get 3 inches taller. And exhale, twist, twist, twist. Now, keeping the right arm where it is, reach and extend the left arm up towards the sky, like you're trying to get something off the top shelf. Start to pull the left arm towards the right toes. And really slowly, just keep lifting the hip as much as you can. So I'm trying to get more length in the hip. Doesn't matter where the hand goes. Keep the gaze slightly up or over towards the left side. Keep lengthening here. And finding this spaciousness along the whole left side of the body. On your next inhalation, reach yourself up and out, and then turn yourself forward towards the right leg. Bring the right leg more in line with the ribs. On your inhale, lengthen the arms, and then on your exhale, reach forward. And as I reach forward, I might find the toes, I might not, again, ribs towards thighs, and it's almost like I'm pulling the ribs over the leg. Reach your heart forward, pull the shoulder blades back, and allow yourself to just kind of melt over the leg. And if you can, pull the toes back, especially that big toe, and then giving yourself that lock around the toe, pulling it back. If you can, the whole hand is going to find the ball of the foot as the heel extends forward, but if the leg is shaking, find peace in your pose. Stay here for a breath. On your inhale, slowly reach and extend the arms up. Take the hands down. I'm going to find Baddha Konasana. So bring the legs, the feet together. Bring them in as closely as you can, and think about pushing the knees down. Now, if you're leaning back a lot, this is where you can take a blanket and sit the blanket underneath, prop yourself up a little bit. But I want you to think about lifting the heart up. So getting as straight in the spine as you can in this position. Now open your feet like a book and try to push your knees down. And see if you can push the knees down a little bit. Now if you have knee issues going on, you can take those feet a little wider and you can place blocks right under the thighs to give yourself a little more support. If you can, pull your heart forward and pull your shoulders back. So I'm reaching my heart in opposition of where my shoulders are going. The ears are stretching up towards the sky, but the chest is keep chasing forward. Now think about lengthening the tailbone down. So sometimes when I do that, I can push the tailbone down and I can actually feel this lengthening in the spine. Now as you're here, I want you to start to round, but round from the lower back. So pull the belly in and start this really slow rounding. And rounding up, vertebra by vertebra. Think about pulling the forehead down. Staying here for a few breaths. Drawing the belly in, the forehead towards the toes. And very slowly inhaling. As you come out, use the hands to help the knees. And take the hands around and just give yourself a hug. Stretch the ribs forward a little bit. And then on your exhale, just pull your spine gently back. Forehead towards the knees, shoulders away from the ears. On your inhale, stretching forward. And then exhale, taking it back. And then inhale, coming back to the center. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. So my hands are going to come down, toes are going to curl, lean back into the heels. And again, kind of like you're traveling through that butter. Notice a slow movement. Maybe making this a movable downward facing. So you might find heels are pressing back, opening the hips a little bit. Pressing the arms away, drawing the navel in, and finding this action where the tailbone is tilting up. Now, if you can, gaze might be towards the ankles, the knees, or even the navel. But I want to keep my ears, so the ears and the arms stay in alignment. Wrapping the triceps slightly back, but the shoulder blades are almost squeezing a little together. And then push the shoulder blades out and see if you can start to find this little movement in the shoulders, even in your downward facing. On your inhale, rise up on your toes and slowly start to walk forward towards the front of your mat. Bend your knees, find your forward fold by ribs, finding the thighs. If this is too much for the morning, take your hands to or elbows to your knees, but allow your chest to extend forward. So again, I'm always chasing ribs and thighs. They want to find each other. Walk the rib cage down, so maybe the top of the ribs are finding the knees. And as it's comfortable in your pose, allow your legs to straighten gently. Always keeping that micro bend in the knees. Make sure the middle toes are facing forward. And if you can, gaze down, can you spread your toes out? If they're not spreading this morning, you can take your fingers and kind of spread them out. And just being aware. We're going to take hands towards shins, gaze forward, lengthen, pull the navel in. Exhale, start to bow forward. On your inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, bow. Bend your knees on this one and just very gently start to roll yourself up. Feeling how the body feels. Chin is the last thing to come up. Gaze up towards the thumbs, drop the shoulders. Exhale, hands find the heart. And again, tapping into the space, what you're feeling at this moment. All right, so we're going to come into a side bend. When you do this, we're going to reach and extend the arms up. Now, if you're somebody that cannot straighten the arms, if you have shoulder issues, you can just bring the arms together, and you might even take the right hand grab on the left wrist. If you are able to straighten the arms, I want you to extend the arms all the way up, Kali Mudra on the hands. So I'm going to keep the index fingers together, thumbs crossed, and all the other fingers are crossed. So it's kind of like my Star Wars gun. reach your arms up, lift your heart, and if you can, reach your arms up and think about squeezing the shoulder blades together in the back. Now lengthen the heart, lengthen the ear so I'm not feeling compression in the neck. So even though my shoulder blades are squeezing together in the back, the length of the chest, pull the hips slightly forward. Keep thinking about lengthening the spine, and then we're going to exhale over towards the right side. Allow for just this really gentle extension. Squeeze the thighs together. Rotate so the left shoulder is back a little bit, and the right shoulder is facing forward. Same here for 3. Lengthen. 2. It's almost like that hip is pulling upward. And 1. Inhale, coming back to the center. Bring the hands down. Okay, so if I keep the arms up like this and I'm doing this and I'm pulling my chin down towards my chest, I'm going to feel that compression in the neck. So make sure you're lengthening the chest as you do this. And this is one that it's really easy to do wrong, so go into the feeling of it more than sometimes what you think you are doing. If it's not comfortable, left hand's going to grab on the right wrist. So lift up. Maybe the arms come behind the back of the ears, Kali Mudra arms. Push your hips forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together in the back, and lift the heart forward. So lift the heart up, and my ears are still chasing away from my shoulders. So the shoulders are chasing towards the ears, but the ears are running away. On your exhale, reach over and think about lengthening the right side. So I'm lengthening the right side, squeeze the thighs as tightly as you can. Toes might find each other. And if the toes are not together, squeeze the thighs together, protect the lower back. Left shoulder is forward, right shoulder is slightly back. Stay here for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, coming back to the center, and then exhale. Separate the feet for a moment, take the hands, and just roll them out. And I know that's a lot in the morning. All right, so grab onto your blocks. So we're going to take the blocks right towards the top of this mat. Make sure your toes frame the blocks. Let's inhale, reach and extend the arms up. Drop your shoulders. Take your hands to your heart, thumbs pressed to your chest. Check in. Bend your knees, cross your thumbs. Let's drop down. Inhale, see if you can touch the floor. Knees squeeze together if you can. Exhale, hands to the heart. Dive forward, tailbone left, head comes down. On your inhale, lengthen, gaze forward, weight is in the heels. And as slowly as you can, step the left foot back. Left knee comes to the earth. And this is just our sun salutation. So reaching the heart forward. And I want to make sure this right knee and ankle line. So if I need to, wiggle the toes forward. Keep extending the heart forward and pull the heart up. So I want to use the heart in opposition of the hip. The hip on the left is pulling down. The right knee is guiding forward a little bit. And it's almost like I'm dragging that left thigh. Now, as you're here, stretch back and straighten out the right leg. See if you can keep the toes down. Spread the toes and try to pull to the inside of the arch just a little bit. I'm going to reach forward. And then this time, bend both knees. We're going to find that chin, knees, chest, chin. So hands are by my side. Tilt the tailbone and start to lower down to the chest. Pull your chin forward. Squeeze your shoulder blades back. When you're ready, press into the hands and roll yourself forward. Bhujangasana, Cobra. Inhale, lengthen, pull the belly button forward. Chin slightly up. Exhale, lower. Curl the toes. Pressing back into your downward facing. So we're going to come back into that downward facing. Heels maybe find the earth. Stay here for a breath or two. When you're ready, rising up on your toes, if you can, step your left foot forward, then your right foot forward. Let's come through chair pose, so bend your knees. Inhale, reach and extend the arms up. And then exhale, hands find the heart. All right, so if you need those blocks, use those blocks. You can always do your sun salutation without the blocks. Because this is an all-level class, I like to show how we can build the floor up. So on your inhale, reach and extend the arms up, drop the shoulders, exhale, thumbs to the heart. Cross the thumbs, find your chair, so you can sink back down. Weight is in the heels. Reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart, dive forward, tailbone lift, head comes down. On your inhale, lengthen, weight is still in the heels, bend your knees. Keep your left foot where it is, right leg steps back. Right knee comes down. Uncurl the back right toes, and as you do this, pull this line of energy from the knee to the hip, to the ribs, all the way forward. So it's reaching from the knee. Now, if you can, you're going to start to find that little bit of a back bend. Lift the heart, lift the chest. Exhale. Straighten out the left leg. Keep the toes down. If the leg doesn't straighten, that's okay. And it might be the hamstring, it might be the knee, it might even be the calf. It could be the toes. So there's a number of reasons why I might not be able to straighten that leg. Pull the left hip back, right hip slightly forward. When you're ready, bend your knees, and I'm going to take it back. So I'm going to bring that leg back. Find your tabletop, take your blocks out for a moment. We're going to find that knees, chest, chin. Widen your knees as much as you need to. And as I'm coming down, I can widen my hands a little bit. Now I'm going to pull my elbows back as I pull my heart down and lower down. This is kind of a modified chaturanga. Now as my chest comes down, pull the chin forward. So I'm lengthening and I'm not compressing. When you're ready, press through the hands. See if you can find yourself forward. Keep the hips down. On your inhale, pull your ribs forward, Bhujangasana. Pull the shoulder blades back, elbows are pulling back. Exhale, lower. Finding table, curl the toes, pressing back up. Wrists and shoulders align, knees and hips align. Curl the toes, glide back into your downward facing dog. Scissor your knees a little side to side, moving into the hips. On your inhale, rise on your toes. Exhale, step forward, right foot, then left. Bend your knees. We're going to stay in our chair pose. So I'm going to reach the arms up as I'm here. So keep reaching. Push the weight back into the heels. Now as you're here, think about getting length. So I'm getting length, but I'm pulling the shoulders back. Hands are going to find the heart. So thumbs try to press to the heart. I'm going to bring that right elbow over towards the left side. Now, if you can, try to keep the thumbs right to the center. Squeeze the knees together. Lift up and draw it back. Now, keeping the thighs and the hips even on this same plane. Pull the left hip down as the right hip is slightly trying to pull up. So the action of the twist is originating in the middle of the spine. Maybe staying here. On your inhale, reach and extend the arms up, and exhale. Let's find that standing pose for a moment. Just check in and see how this feels. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. So notice if you've lost your breath, re-find it. Take your hands down. See if your hands can swoop. Bend the knees, reach the arms forward, chair pose, weight is in the heels. Hands find the heart, thumbs press to the chest, and this time the left elbow is going to find. And you notice that sometimes that knee wants to press forward, so I want to try to get those knees together if I can. Lift the heart up and keep the thumbs right towards the center of the chest. Pull the right shoulder back, left shoulder down, and I'm trying to level out the hips even. So the right hip might have to lift up a little bit more and that left hip down. And just start to notice how this feels in the body. On your next inhalation, reach your arms forward and then exhale. Take your hands to your heart, thumbs pressed to your chest. Stay here for a breath. Bring your arms down by your side, palms face out. Separate your feet a little bit and just kind of tap in to where you are. Now I'm going to keep my feet hip distance apart. I'm going to find my fold forward. So I want you to think about hinging at the hips, maybe even hands to the hips. Inhale, lengthen the chest. bend, that's when the knees are going to start to bend. And I'm going to bring the ribs down towards the thighs. Now, if you can, you're going to use your peace sign fingers. You're going to grab onto your big toes and press your big toes into your peace sign fingers and press your thumbs around the outside of the big toes. So this is this toe lock. This is actually going to massage into the toes, which is a really good thing because it's an origination point for my meridians. And it's going to be this meridian that runs right on the inside of the thigh. And just pulling the heart down, the elbows back. Maybe straightening the legs and keep pushing your big toes into the ground. Letting the crown of the head press forward. Stay here a breath. On your inhale, lengthen, gaze forward, bend your knees. Take your hands right behind you and interlock your fingers. See if you can straighten out your arms a little bit and maybe fold forward. Let the shoulder blades come together a little bit and let the head rest down heavy. If the legs are not able to straighten, that's okay. If the arms are not able to straighten, that's okay. But just start to feel this little pulling action of the arms. Maybe even allowing them to have this one little inch or a half an inch little bounce. When you're ready, hands come back towards the bottom. Sweep the arms forward a little bit. Exhale, rest the hands. On your inhale, lengthen hands towards shins, gaze forward. Exhale, bend and bow. And this time, take the hands above the knees, roll an upper vertebra at a time. Slowly reach and extend the arms up. And take the hands down to the heart, thumbs pressed to the chest. So I'm going to find a wider stance. And as I widen my stance, I'm going to start off turning my right toes over towards the right side. Now, I want you to think about taking the left toes and turning the whole body so it's facing over towards the right. Take your hands to your hips and see if you can start extending yourself forward. Micro bend the right knee and the right big toe is down, and you might find hands to shins. If you need blocks, you can use blocks on each side of you, but level out the hips. So this left hip is going to be down a little bit. I'm going to push through this right leg a little bit firmer and keep reaching your chin towards your shin. Finding your pyramid pose. And on your inhale, lengthen. On your exhale, bow. On your inhale, slowly extending yourself back. And turning the toes, so the toes come out at a little bit more of an angle. Square your hips forward towards the front. Let's find warrior one. So tighten your back left glute, almost like you're tucking it under, and squeeze your left thigh in towards your right. Inhale your arms, and then let's bring those arms out into cactus. Pull in, your heart is lifting, and turn your hips forward towards the front. Root into your back two pinky toes and your right big toe. And keep lifting up. So tightening this hip flexor, pushing this forward, tightening this back glute will also protect my lower back. So lift the heart. Think about the ribs lifting. When you're feeling compressing in the lower back, notice if everything is kind of slouching down or this action of the transverse abdominals as well as the erector spinae are lifting the whole spine and the rib cage up. Maybe reaching the arms up, finding this length. When you're ready, hands to the heart, thumbs pressed to the chest, and turn. Bring your toes out a little bit. So I'm going to find my horse stance, bend your knees. Now I'm going to push into the pinky toes and see if I can tilt the tailbone in, draw the belly in, maybe the arms come out into goddess pose. And sometimes I like to take my wrists up, especially if I have wrist issues going on, and pull the fingers fingers down. So you can separate the fingers. Keep pulling the arms back. This is definitely a Star Wars move. Staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Turning the palms down, straightening out the legs, pushing the hips forward, finding 5-pointed star, lifting the heart, lifting the chest, pushing into the big toes, lifting the arches. Taking the hands down, turn the right toes over, and this time I'm going to angle over this front leg. Now if you need those blocks, you can take those blocks and move them to the other side, finding Vipassana, extend. This is that pyramid pose. Toes can be at a slight angle. Level out and hinge at the hips. So again, I'm reaching my heart forward as I'm pulling the tailbone back. The belly button is hugging in, and I'm squaring off through the hips. Now, if you need to, you can take a hand to the shin. You can take a hand to a thigh. Do not press on your knee. Your knee is a joint. We don't want to hurt the back of the knee. So keep a micro bend in this left leg. Now, lift your heart and keep extending yourself forward, and try to push a little bit more energy into the left foot, dropping the right hip down. So you notice that your hips are a little bit more level as you're doing this, and one isn't really much higher than the other. On your next inhalation, slowly start to pull yourself back out of your pose. Now I'm going to turn my right toes out a little bit, and I'm going to bend my knee. If you need to, move your back leg out, but square your hips forward. Find your warrior 1. Reach your arms up. Now draw your shoulders down and kind of pull your shoulders down and back. Squeeze your right thigh in. You can even micro bend that right knee. Sometimes we put a lot of strain on the right knee in this pose, and bend generously into the left, but not so generously that you hurt the back leg. Keep this action of the right inner thigh squeezing towards the left. Like, let's say I have a block between my thighs and I'm literally trying to hold the block, or a really large beach ball. Now reach the arms up, lift the heart, lift the chest, keep pushing energy into that back right glute, and notice that you're able to keep this action out of the lower back. Lift the arms up as high as you can. Pull the shoulders back. When you're ready, take your hands to your heart and start to straighten out both legs, taking the legs out a little bit more. Lift the heart, lift the chest. Exhale, find the bend. Take the hands to the knees, and I want you to just pull the knees up hard a little, moving a little side to side. On your inhale, straighten. Turn your toes a little forward. We're going to bring the blocks out. So we're going to find a movable balance today. Just kind of tapping into the strength of your force. So I want you to think about shifting the weight to the right. And as you do this, see if you can lift the left leg. And shifting the weight to the left, see if you can start to lift the right leg. And I want you to find this really soft, movable balance. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm lifting the rib cage up. And I'm pulling from side to side. And just start to see, can I move slowly, like I'm going through butter? And I have to go through this surface of all this energy that's around me. And so shifting your weight over to the right, see if you can hold that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going over to the left. Start to see if you can hold that for 5. Shoulders back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Going over to the right. Use your right hand. Press the right hand out. Straighten out the right leg. Keep the left lifted. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend to the right knee. Slowly place the left foot down. Reach the left arm out. Rise up onto the right toes. See if you can start to lift the right leg. Straighten the left. Staying here for 5, 4. Shoulders back. 3, 2, 1. Last one. to shift over. Now I'm going to reach the right arm out, but I want you to think about bending the left knee and see if the right hand can touch the side of the knee. Maybe twisting over it. It's okay if you lose your balance. Reaching the left arm out, staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to the center, bringing that left foot down. Left arm is out. Again, same thing. I'm lifting, and as I'm lifting, I'm going to bring that knee in. Left hand grabs under the outside of the right thigh. Lift up through the ribs, up tall, tall, tall. Maybe the right arm is reaching. I might gaze over towards that side. Behind me, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to the center. Nice. All right, so coming down into your yogi squat, your malasana. If you need to have blocks underneath or a blanket, so if your heels don't go all the way down, fold your blanket, and you can take that blanket right underneath the backs of the heels. And so it gives me a little bit more support. I want you to keep working towards this. Malasana is a pose that we practice on. But again, I'm still finding this length. So in everything in yoga, you want to start to find this length in your body, this length in our spine. We spend a lot of time hunched over, so we don't want to really reinforce that in a lot of areas. We want the tailbone to actually come, and think about the tailbone pulling through, and the belly is pulling up. And you might use the elbows and push the knees out a little bit, lifting the heart, lifting the chest. And when you're ready, coming down onto the ground. Grabbing onto your blocks. So we're going to find feet up towards the ceiling. So lowering down and just taking your blocks right underneath your bottom and just bringing it under the bottom so it's not on your spine, and find legs up towards the ceiling. Now as you're here, think about your belly being really heavy so your spine actually weighs down. And roll out your ankles and notice if there's an area of the ankles that is feeling really tight. And go the other direction. And just both directions. When you're ready, grabbing onto your knees, pulling your knees in, using this block for supported bridge. So my fingers might touch the heels. If they don't, that's okay. See if you can start lifting up a little bit. Bring the shoulder blades a little closer together. If you have a blanket, taking the blanket out from underneath, and make sure you're gazing up. I'm going to gaze towards you. Lifting up. See if you can support yourself on the block. Now, if you can, bring your shoulder blades a little closer together, and you might even find a little bit of a higher lift. Now, since you have that block there, you can always come down onto the block if you need to, but start feeling what's going on here. Squeezing the thighs in towards each other, and I'm not touching the knees, so I'm never compressing into the lower back. My knees are hip distance. My feet are not out. Really important that the toes face forward and the legs maintain this hip distance position. So lifting the heart. Now the heart is chasing the chin, but the chin is moving away. So even though the heart is trying to reach up and forward, the chin is still moving away, so I have this length in the neck. And I'm never compressing into my neck as I do this. So I want to think about lengthening and keep pulling the chin away, so I'm creating this space in the back of the cervical spine. Lifting the heart a little bit more, pressing into the big toes, pressing into the pinky toes and the heels. So you're feeling this action of the legs. Feel the inner arches lift, and see if you can pull your shins forward, and notice all the different components that are going on in this pose as you're doing all these little micro adjustments. Notice if you can pull the ears forward and the shoulders back down. Lift the heart a little bit more and think about pressing the hips up, the thighs up. When block. Now, if this is too much, you can come down a little bit more. If you're able, see if you can start extending the leg out. If this is too much of a back bend, bring the block down, or you can get rid of the block altogether. And you can even take a blanket down. Always finding where you need to be in your practice. Now, since this is a hip opener, I'm going to face the pinkies out towards the side. Maybe take the arms out a little bit. I don't want to necessarily bring them here because the chin starts to go in. So find expansiveness and start to notice in your own practice, where are you expanding? Where are you closing off? So sometimes the cues that a teacher might make are good for some people, but not for all people. You have to find the origination of what am I trying to do? What am I trying to do in this pose? Am I trying to lengthen something? And if this doesn't feel lengthening to you, then you have to find that way to make it a lengthening practice. So I want you to feel this openness in the hips. You're going to feel the back bend, openness of the chest and the neck, so there should be no compression in the neck whatsoever. See if you can even take your tongue to the roof of your mouth, allowing the head to pull even just a little more towards the top of the mat. When you're ready, you're going to bring your knees back a little closer together. Take your hands down. Start to slowly lift up and bring your bottom down. Allow your spine to rebound here for a moment. Bring your knees in towards each other, and then just let your knees fold over to the right side for a gentle twist. Maybe allow the left arm to come out towards the side. On your inhale, coming back to the center, and then bring your knees over towards the left side, and the arm over towards the right. And allow for this gentle twist. And then coming back into the center, grabbing onto the knees, maybe rolling into little circles. You might find rolling up on, down on the spine. Feels really good. We're going to come into a final breath. So I'm going to have you take your arms kind of an X or a starfish fashion. We're going to inhale, hold our breath, tighten. I want you to hold it for 10 seconds and then let it go, exhale through the mouth. So 1, 2, 3. Inhale and tighten everything, pushing to the low back. Hold here for 10, 9, 8. Keep holding. 7, 6. Make a fist. Tighten your face. Tighten every muscle. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale. And tap into your force. Tapping into that space around you, inside you, connecting to your powerful life force. I can't connect to something if I don't know it exists. It's like the programs that are available in life are only helpful if I know that they're there. And so starting to tap into this energy means I realize that this is something that is available for me, by me. We have the ability to heal ourselves. And when we tap into that, more and more and more. I need medical science less and less. And so seeing how all these points of energy feel in your body, noticing where you feel them the most. Getting your breathing back to its normal rhythmic pace. And stay here for several more breaths. So I want you to stay here as long as you need. If you would like to remain in Shavasana, please remain in Shavasana. Tapping into what your body is asking you to do. If you feel as though you're ready to start movement, maybe just start movements in the body. Eventually we're going to all end up on our right side. And again, if you want to stay in Shavasana, please do that as long as you possibly can. I'm going to finish off with a thought for today, and today being May 4th. The 4th be with you. I thought a quote from Yoda, the great yogi of all times. So, when we focus on weakness and not our strengths, it leads us to fear. We don't find the light. And we can't eradicate darkness in our life by adding to the darkness. The only thing that kills darkness is light. So focusing on your strengths, not your weaknesses. Focusing on what's working in your life, not what isn't working in your life. And I know for a lot of us that's a really hard thing because we think life has to be so hard and it has to be arduous work, and it doesn't. So Yoda says, fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Hate leads to suffering. But it all starts with fear. And a lot of times our fear is based on what I'm not doing right, not what I am doing right. So today, focus on your light, not your darkness. Focus on your strengths. Build those, not your weaknesses. Build a life around your strengths. We're all always going to have weaknesses. It's just part of life. But we don't need to focus on those. I might never be the organized cleaner I want to be. So I focus on where I am really strong. And eventually other things start to get a little better. But don't focus on your dark, focus on your light. So let's breathe in through our nose, hold your breath, and exhale out from the first. So let's inhale for 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hold for 2, 3, 4, and 5. And exhale for 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale. a fabulous May 4th. I hope you enjoyed this class. If you do, I'm here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. All of these are available on my YouTube channel, Bending Light Yoga. And please subscribe, share, like these videos. It helps me tremendously. If you're able to donate, I have a Venmo, PayPal, and Save Bending Light Yoga during this period of time. Thank you so much for all the light that you bring to this world. All right, namaste.